Hello again, everybody. Hjalti is about ready to catch up with Delphine, and then see about this dragon. But first he needs to get to shore, but first he needs to avoid those torches, and being seen by any watchers on that boat. Dawn is coming, so he needs to make good time, but he can't risk being seen now. If he was, he could be linked to the murder, and then put in prison for murder. Or actually forced to pay a nominal fine for murder, but that's just ridiculous. Now, it is true that Viking societies had this thing called a weregeld, meaning mangold, where if you killed somebody, you had to pay the victim's family a sum, so they wouldn't pursue a blood feud with you. But that's just because those societies had no rule of law. And here in Skyrim we have organized law enforcement, so it doesn't really make sense that there's such like a light penalty for killing people. Oh well, they have it because it's a video game. Well, these things are very prickly while naked, so Hjalti will get himself dressed. And the talus sounds good, and of course these boots. And he'll conceal himself as best he can. He needs to avoid the main roads for a while here. Because if anybody spots him, of course, he's in trouble. So those humans over there must be avoided. He doesn't like having this stray so close between multiple different groups of people. So down he crouches. Walking along this ridgeline feels terribly exposed. Nobody seems to have noticed him so far. He also can't risk using magic that's too visible until he's out of sight of that camp. Should be out of sight now. Can see behind a rock. Anything ahead of me? No? We're good. Alright. Continue a little ways. Dawn is coming soon. Oh, drat. I did not want to boost up my sneak. Oh well. It's unavoidable for role-playing purposes there. It's only one skill level anyway. That is a grove there that will have a Spriggan in it. Spriggans are extremely dangerous enemies because they always attack you with a swarm of dangerous animals. Usually including saber cats or worse. Plus, they themselves are almost impossible to kill because they have an extremely powerful healing effect they can do. And they also have a long-range, dangerous poison attack with a bunch of bees. Another person. Can't be seen, but I'm getting too close to Shore's Stone now. Where I also can't risk being seen. Hjalti is a nervous wreck at this point. He has killed over 100 people before, but that was different from actually going into a town and murdering a citizen there. This he could get in real trouble for, and that would ruin everything. But it's probably worth it in the long run if he gets away with it, because this will give him a chance to communicate with the Dark Brotherhood, hopefully, who've been trying to kill him, and find out why they're doing that. And perhaps find out if they'd be useful allies. Or if not, to learn more about them and then see if he can destroy them. No dangerous animals so far. He doesn't like that this is like a path. That might well have people along it. So, off into the wilderness again. Need to avoid Shore's Stone as well. That town there where the people would recognize me. Some kind of scared animal over there. This, of course, is the mountain peak where I learned to detect life. Another grove ahead. Another Spriggan to avoid. They are slightly weak to fire, but not enough so that would allow me to safely kill them. I'm up on a cliff now. Luckily I have a way to solve that problem. Quite a cliff. Nobody seems to be around, so he will scale down here. Probably will put away his stuff because it doesn't really make sense to try to scale a cliff like this. Well, your hands are full. Actually, the staff, I guess, would be a walking stick. Here we are. Nobody seems to be around, so make sure my amulet is on. Yep. And my shout should become ethereal. Fight! Down we go. And down again. We better crouch here, make sure nobody saw that. No one? Good. Fight! Now the big one. Alright, a fortress over there. Need to avoid that. But I'm getting back into somewhat familiar countryside here, near where I got my Atronach stone. The fastest way of getting around Skyrim. I've gotten past Shore's stone now, so I'm back up into regions toward where the Hollow Crypt is, and I might plausibly be heading. Wow, can't believe I didn't see that person there. I bet that is a drug dealer. Yep.
Greetings, brother. You look weary. I have something to help you relax if you're interested.
Let me just confirm this before I murder somebody.
Sweetest moon sugar at a fair price, of course. I'd better get going. Greetings, brother. You look weary. The finest skooma, the sweet.
Can't let him live anyway.
That's not gonna happen. Never should have come here.
His punches will do substantial damage due to those gloves that help the perk with the boosted damage based on having gloves. People punching are pretty easy to dodge. Alright, he's used that sleeping tree sap or whatever on himself, so he's alive for a few more seconds here. Can't let him get away. But he'll drop dead momentarily. Atronach, you're not doing a good job of this. There we go. Keep punching. Good thing he's so drug-addled and willing to fight a giant fire demon with his bare fists. Oops. Wow. That was a very poor shot on my part. I wonder how much damage he does punching. We're gonna see. Okay, that's actually not that big. I've been, like, killed in 2 or 3 hits by these guys in the past. I guess I have a lot of level up sunk into hit points, and he's not a Khajiit or anything like that that have massively boosted damage. Khajiit claws inexplicably stack with the wearing gauntlets bonus. Well, on the road, but I'm far enough north that should be alright. Might need to hide along if somebody comes a little too soon. So, back toward Kynesgrove, where, for numerous reasons, Delphine's plan is really stupid. So the idea is, of course, that we're going to get there and we're going to find out how the dragons are coming back to life. Because there's a dragon burial mound there, and the pattern points to Kynesgrove. But there is so much wrong with that. First of all, yeah, I'm going to give you some spoilers here. If you were the one person in the universe who doesn't know that Alduin is behind everything in Skyrim, Alduin's behind everything in Skyrim. So, Alduin's plan doesn't really make any sense. Like, there's no good reason he would stick to just like one geographical area and move in like a pattern like that unless he's just trying to, you know, resurrect dragons with maximum speed. But if he's doing that, why is he dawdling so long? It takes him like weeks between dragons. Because like we can see burial mounds right along this path that he's gotten to, but none in Kynesgrove. What's up with that? Doesn't make any sense at all. Also, doesn't make sense that he would go from where he, you know, came back at the throat of the world. Minor spoiler there, and then head south and randomly attack Helgen for no reason, and then from there, skip all the dragon mounds near him, head way to the southeast. Oh, it's the Revelers. They can have another bottle of Honey Brew Mead.
Hail, friend. But
These guys are drunk. They won't make the connection.
This good. Cheers, my friend. May your adventures find you fame and fortune.
So, go to Helgen, attack it for no reason, then skip a bunch of dragon mounts, go to like the southeastern part of Skyrim, start raising dragons there, and then move with like a week between mounds up toward Kynesgrove. It doesn't make sense. And like, even assuming he was doing that, there's no reason for Delphine to think that we would get there in time. Or for her to do such like a slow method of contacting you, like just stealing the horn and hoping you come to find her promptly, when like time is of the essence. No element of that part of the plot makes any sense at all. And they could have done it in a much better kind of way. They could have had you go to some location for a legitimate reason and find Alduin doing something there. They could have had Alduin's motivation make sense. They could have had his plans make sense. But instead, he just does a bunch of crazy, stupid stuff the whole time, so the story doesn't really have much drama to it. No part of the story really makes that much sense when you think about it. And that's a shame. More wolves up ahead, I think. Yes, at least one wolf. I fought a dragon, near here, of course, during that long fight just after I got the Atronex stone. Had to make the giants around here help out, but they kept trying to kill me instead for some reason. There's the wolf. Alright. Wow. Pretty stoic about that. This is one of the few places in Skyrim where you can see giants just doing wanton destruction for whatever reason. There's no evidence of any kind of provocation here, but the giants just slaughtered this horse and caravan. It is a Khajiit, maybe trying to steal stuff from them, but giants don't really mind you taking stuff from them, as long as you stay away from their mammoths. They're pretty reasonable most of the time, all things considered. Wow, that's a pretty powerful scroll. That's a pretty poor Khajiit. These things here are creep clusters, minor alchemy ingredient. Grow all along the path in this area. I do like how different regions have totally different plants that seem to make some kind of botanical sense for that area. Giant over there, I think. Alright. Yeah, that's a giant. I better keep my distance. That orc stronghold over there is Narzlbur, I believe. One of the least important orc strongholds in a story sense, but it has one of Skyrim's only ebony mines, so fantastic stuff if you're just mining and crafting.
What was that?
Oh, a hostile person. Fine. Saves me the trouble of killing you just in case. So again, just random adventurer. Different races have different ways of fighting. Nords are pretty much pure fighters. Probably should be two-handed because that's the Nord specialty in this game. Is that massive punishes the two-handed, which is pretty bad. It's the only bad thing about that race. But no other race has perfect setups really either, so it all balances out in terms of skill bonuses, which again are not really worth much compared to other important things like passive resistance. The Nords have the best one of probably.
Nothing.
Or your amazing active fight winning shout that they've got. War cry. Alright. Orichalcum, by the way, comes from Plato, actually, in his description of Atlantis, which, by the way, is not an actual Greek myth, but just something that Plato made up as a thought experiment. Anyway, yeah, he describes part of Atlantis as having a wall of orichalcum, but doesn't really specify exactly what it is, so it became this mythological metal. It might not even have been intended to be mythological. Could have just been a name for some kind of alloy that actually existed, and we would call it by some other name. He just gives no information about it. So, actually, he gives some information. He describes its color as being kind of like red gold, so completely the opposite of what it looks like in this game. But whatever. Sudden weather change. Something made the excuse before that I was going up in elevation, so it started snowing. But here I'm going down in elevation, and it is starting to snow abruptly, like a wall. Ah, a dragon. Well, let me eat an Elsewhere fondue. And then muffle my approach. Hopefully the snow will conceal me somewhat. So all the people here, cowering and hiding and so forth, like that person there, they won't talk to you. Need to find a way up that hill. Must have knocked some object loose right there. There's a mine here. He also takes note of that as a place he can hide if need be. And who's this? Is that... Ah, it's Delphine. She made it here alive after him. That kind of surprises him. It's not giving subtitles, but she said, "Someone with other's eyes, look at that big bastard." Real sneaky to sprint up this far and then crouch down. One of the few times when we see NPCs do that same sneak animation that you do. So what is going on here with this Dragon Mound? There's big glowy lights. These are probably explosive. I know nothing about magic to know that. And there's Alduin flying around. I can't talk to her in sneak mode, so I've got to stand up to talk.
Stay under cover. This is what we came for. We need to see what happens. Steady. I don't know what's happening. Let's watch it.
Then needs something like Flesh Restore, Flesh Fresh. And it opens up the mound. Oh no, 2 dragons! That's too much. something like Alduin, my lord. Something about feeding kings. I don't know all the words. Something like Salakunir, my servant. Oh, he knows I'm here. Called me the false Dovahkiin, I think.
You do not even know our tongue, do you?
I know part of it.
Such arrogance to dare take for yourself the name of Nova.
And now, yeah, it says Salakunir kill these mortals. And then he just flies away, and thereby lets you win again. Oh, good, he's an ice dragon. That means number one, he does less damage, and number two, I can be super effective against him with my fire attacks. So I'll be doing that. It's been a while since I fought a dragon. Let me equip the right kinds of shots for that purpose. I'm going to want to become ethereal, definitely. I'm going to want, in terms of gear, Amulet of Talos. Yeah, that should do. Wow, the weather cleared up again, suddenly. Stormcloak with his neck broken by the looks of things. Alduin must have killed him.
I
am Salakunir, hear my voice in despair. I don't know why they're not doing subtitles. Well, dragon fights are always marathons. You don't want to just try to use up all your magic at once. You certainly don't want to waste your time on a summon. My voice has been silent for too long. There we go. Really getting gnawed on there, but I don't dare close in to try to help her right now. Alright, gonna try to heal her up because I desperately need her to stay alive for various reasons. Number one, just to get out of this alive, but number two, so that she can tell me information. My Lord Alduin requires your death. I'm happy to oblige him. Surprisingly hard to see these guys at times. Well, I'm backing out of there.
Mortals have become arrogant.
I see that mortals have become arrogant while I slept. Even in combat, you can see my magic regen is pretty good with both the staff out and my new robes, and that's really fun to do. Alright, we've nearly got him grounded, so that's nice at least. Do some more healing on her. She probably doesn't actually need that, but it is important to me to keep my tank, and makes some role-playing sense too, I think. Gives a negligible amount of experience, unfortunately. It's quite expensive. That shout costs no magicka, so I get nothing back from absorbing it, but it does at least block the damage. And it's much less effective than his actual attack, especially on her because she's a fellow Breton. So, glad whenever he does that. This one's yours. I've never heard her say that in this case. Fighting dragons. I haven't had to use my shout here for whatever reason. Typically he'll target me at some point, but not so far. Once we ground him, she'll be taking a lot more damage. I think it's maybe get trickier for that. Alright, he's grounded now. Hope she knows what she's doing. This is one of those places where Legendary gets very silly, where like it makes her so absurdly tough that like, she just will not be killed by this dragon gnawing on her. Because again, it makes all NPCs take 1/4 damage from all sources, not just from me. Here they got him killed. Not too bad a time for like a merely 2 people versus the dragon. Typically want them dead fast. Need to get more people involved. They're very tough. I'm not darting in range of those jaws. I can resist his ice breath just fine, but its jaws would deal massive damage. Well, he's braver than Mermelnir then. She has a heal for herself, that's good. She must be low though. Oops. There.
I'll be damned. You did it. Wait, something's happening. God's above.
So now I can absorb his soul and she'll finally know that I'm Dragonborn, even though it's really obvious to everybody. Another dragon soul. Haven't had one of those in a while, and I do have a shout to use it on.
It's true, isn't it? You really are Dragonborn.
Decent surprised
I
facial
always
expression
answer,
there.
don't I? Go ahead. Whatever you want to know.
Disappointment
Nothing held back.
ensues.
Not a damn thing. I was just as surprised as you to find that big black dragon here. Really? Where? Interesting.
So she really knows
Same
nothing of
dragon.
value about anything.
Damn it. We're blundering around in the dark here.
One
need
gets the
to
impression
figure
she
out
was
who's
not a
behind it all.
terribly knowledgeable or important or even intelligent blade, despite being a Breton.
I'm one of the last members of the Blades.
I'm
A
playing
very
dumb
long
here.
time
He, of course,
ago,
knows
the
that she's a
Blades were
blade,
dragon
but he doesn't want her
slayers,
to know how much he
and
knows
we
yet.
served the Dragonborn,
Ah,
greatest dragon
here to
slayer.
serve me then.
For the last 200 years since the last Dragonborn Emperor, the Blades have been searching for a purpose. Now that dragons are coming back, our purpose is clear again. We need to stop them. The first thing we need to do is figure out who's behind the dragons. The Thalmor are our best lead. If they aren't involved, they'll know who is.
Fairly sensible so far, I suppose.
Nothing solid, yet. But my gut tells me it can't be
And she
anything.
reveals she's been thinking with
The
her
Empire had
intestines.
captured
We Bretons
Ulfric.
should be above that.
The war
Leave
was
that to the
basically over.
Nords.
Then a dragon attacks, Ulfric escapes, and the war is back on. And now the dragons are attacking everywhere, indiscriminately. Skyrim is weakened. The Empire is weakened. Who else gains from that but the Thalmor?
I think this only makes sense to us because we're Bretons, and that's the way Bretons think.
If we could get into the Thalmor embassy, it's the center of their operations in Skyrim. Problem is that place is locked up tighter than a miser's purse.
Mixed metaphors there
They
just
could
seem
teach
kind
me
of
a few things
strange.
about paranoia. I'm not sure yet. I have a few ideas, but I'll need some time to pull things together.
She doesn't actually. She has
Meet
the
me
plan
back in
immediately
Riverwood.
the instant you get back to
If I'm
Riverwood.
not back
But
when you
that
get
would make
there,
no sense in
wait for me.
character.
I shouldn't be long. Keep an eye on the sky. This is only going to get worse.
She's right about that. This is one of those points in the story where from now on dragon attacks become substantially more frequent. But this poor fellow up here has something that I need. There we go. I'm about to need that face-concealing helmet. I may as well just loot this valuable one. I've mentioned scaled helmets before. Quite high-level gear, actually, but that appears at very low levels on certain people. Not as many dragon bones and scales as one could hope for, but not unusable amounts, are they? Alright, down I go. Going to pass her by,
What is it?
make my way to Windhelm. The townspeople will start trickling back, but this is your best opportunity to steal a whole lot of malachite ore. It's used to make glass armor. If you're a light armor character and you're doing crafting... Oh, another dragon. Huh. Well, I want to fight it near people, so bring it on. That's your best opportunity to steal their ore, pretty much, when the art around it. Glass armor is great, so... I have never seen this before. 2 consecutive dragon attacks right here in Kynesgrove. Let me check what my time is left on the Ellsworth Fondue. Only 2 more minutes. It's not good. It'll have to suffice. Are there any people around here who can help me? Or do I have to go to one of those giants again? That didn't work out so great last time. Is he a fire dragon or an ice dragon? Ice. So I'm in luck that way at least. Alright, I think I'm going to lure him up toward Windhelm. For a couple of reasons. Oh. Yeah, dragons can perch on some buildings. It's kind of cool. I'm taking more damage than I would like there, because it's focusing on me and I'm not using my shout. Oop. Well, I failed to dodge that one. I've got my shout ready for this purpose, but I'm not using it correctly. This is the main purpose of Fireman the game. If you have an Amulet of Talus on, and especially if you also have the Shrine Blessing, the cooldown is lower than the dragon's attack time, so you can keep yourself permanently impervious to their attacks and hit them in between. helpful. I'm behind cover, you can't hit me. I dodged, I can put you either. But yeah, better lure her up the road while avoiding... Oh. So the townsfolk are supposed to come trickling back when there's another dragon attacking. That makes less than no sense. So, just dumb things happening because of the random number generator. Good timing there. Now when I attack, it cancels that ability off of me prematurely, but he's doing his easily dodgeable, slow version. So. Nice, got him. Need to make sure he keeps following me, doesn't get sidetracked, but I also need to make sure he doesn't bite me. Dragons are stupid. Yeah, like he just did his like ice breath thing right into the ground in front of him. Real effective attack there. And here we are, back at Windhelm. Any second now, the guards will come and help out. I think I'd better get out of here a little faster though. Oh, there's a random stable high elf. Alright, there's the guard. Need to make sure he doesn't kill any NPCs if I can avoid that, but I may not be able to avoid it. Not if I'm trying to actually play fast, that is. Oh, the Khajiit will help. They're actually pretty effective, and a lot of them are essential. Among other things needed for the Thieves Guild quest. Some of them eventually, so a lot of them are unkillable at any point. Maybe I can get a discount if I heal them. Unfortunately, the answer is no. A new kind of 5-finger discount. They don't have any ranged weapons as far as I'm aware, so they're pretty ineffective here. But even the actual, you know, merchant guy leader directly will take part in this fight, you know, hand to hand. What is the dragon distracted by now? Is it fighting Khajiit over there or some random wildlife? It's slowing me down. Alright, well it should be grounded soon. Kelty has a lot of respect for the Khajiit. I mean, they're great cooks, they're willing to fight dragons that totally aren't their problem. Is it? That's the local farmer. One of them, anyway. Alright, it is now grounded. Can't risk my moon sugar supplier getting injured. Oh wow. Better save him. He is, as I said, unkillable, but Hjalti would have no way to know that, and it wouldn't make any sense anyway. No, why are you still fighting, you idiot? Well, luckily he's got 9 lives, right? I mean, typically these farmers are joining with their bare fists, but this time everybody's determined to make this fight go very slowly. Not like this. Not being, like, chewed on by a dragon. Like, what more do you want from the way you get killed? He's down again, but he won't stop getting up and helping out. And the guards are doing nothing, so... that gives me a great impression of Ulfric. Yeah, going for me now, huh? Oh, the other guy's back up. It's going to kind of keep cycling back and forth between them for the time being, I think. I may use some of this. I've rarely seen such apathetic farmers. Typically, I'm always confused about how eager everybody is to get killed by a dragon. But not this time. Get behind cover here because I've used up my shout there. Not giving myself a chance to cool it down. There we go. Jeez. No thanks to you. Alright, well, having everybody see them Dragonborn, I guess, would help me a little bit here, so. Well, now that that's done with, what have we got for sale?
Take a look.
Inspiration, that's pretty useless. That's a good amount there. Good amount, but I don't really carry shields, so. No, because it's a great sword. Ah, 5 moon sugar at least, that's something. Got any... I'll take the ale. Let's see what I can sell you. I'll probably start by selling the dragon bones, because they're kind of hard to sell, and they're very heavy, obviously. Yeah, I'm being lazy here, selling off things that are easy to sell. Just don't feel like it. I don't really want to do a whole other shopping trip, so... Ah, the cowardly caravan guard. Then let the other one do all the fighting. Alright, back to Windhelm. We've got a few things to do and should get some rest. Hjalti is pretty tired at this point.
You must be one of those wizards from the college.
No time for this nonsense. This bridge is kind of a waste. It's cool, dramatic. I'd like if there were, you know, people here, things to do here, history behind it.
Have you heard? There's been another dragon attack. Kynesgrove this time.
That line normally makes perfect sense, but when you just saw a dragon fight 10 feet away, it becomes weird nonsense. Alright. Need to check if the butcher quest has begun here. It shouldn't have, but it's possible that it will have. Nope. No butcher quests. Good.
Go cast your fancy magic somewhere.
Shut up. Let me just check these
Take a look.
smiths quickly. Got anything useful? Tempting, actually. You use it to crowd control pretty well. But, no. Let me just see what I can sell him. Crossbow, that's really heavy. Didn't notice that I was still carrying that. These are valueless, but I'll sell them because I'm not going to use them. Picked up just some of this junk in the Dawnguard fort.
Whether it's armor you need or a new blade, come see me.
I don't haggle. If you want a lower price, look. Some may call this junk. Me, I call
Anything
them
good?
treasures.
No. Fine. Apparel, I can sell that, I guess. Oh, I forgot to put it on my circlet, like an idiot. I'll sell that. I'll put it on my circlet soon thereafter. Yeah, nothing of importance.
Thank you for your time.
On with that circlet. I can't believe I forgot to wear that.
Name's new. I'm the cook.
Now, any second now, I could start seeing that messenger from the Dark Brotherhood. But hasn't happened yet.
Come on in. Let me know if you need anything, or take a seat by the fire. Got some fresh bacon. Sure thing.
Of course, I'll
It's
see if
yours.
she has any
Take a
useful
look.
food here. Food, ale, I can use that. Won't sell me any either cheese wheels.
I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
Shelty now realizes how long it's been since he's eaten anything, so he will sit down at the bar and
Every night.
have a lot to drink next to this unpleasant fellow. Well, let's see. This calls for a Blackbriar mead, I think. And of course some cooked beef, and a sweet roll, and maybe a honey nut treat too, and some alto wine, and an apple pie, and I've only had other kinds of cheese. He's only realizing now how hungry he is.
Know what I think of them.
Alright. It's enough for several meals at once, even while doing all the energetic things he's been doing. So he's going to get some rest. And then wake up early in the night. Take care of a few items on his agenda.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
So, out I go. No courier, that's good. A few people on the streets, that's better. Let me muffle myself again here. Always good to be concealing your illegal activities. People over there, but nobody out here. So I'm going to put on a helmet so that Aretino can't recognize me. Yep, not that. What am I doing? I'm going to put on a helmet so they can't recognize me. Report the murder.
Well, Grohog the Kind. Is she, you know... Aha! I knew you could do it. I just knew it. I knew the Dark Brotherhood would save me. Here, just like I promised. This should fetch you a nice price. Thank you. Thank you again.
No Dark Brotherhood members came here in the interim, apparently, as Shalty was kind of hoping they would. Very well. Down below, that's fine. Alright, so he'll take off his helmet now. It has served its purpose. Then head to the Temple of Talos here. Renew that blessing before it wears off. Wow, never actually heard that dialogue before. We really do wander around the streets of the Great Quarter, apparently insulting the Dark Elves.
Farm work is hard work. It's good to relax when I can. Still have to
I'd be out there fighting the Imperials right now.
So,
Ever since that Imperial Craven ran me through from behind, I've had trouble breathing. I don't have any trouble drinking, though.
ran you through from behind, huh? You weren't running away yourself, were you? There's the priest sleeping. Kelty will perhaps stop for a snack before getting on the road here. Nord mead, and a Horker loaf, and running out of sweets. But luckily he's confident that can be fixed at the College of Winterhold, where they have so many delicious pies and things like that available. Speaking of which, I'll have a lot of business to take care of there as soon as I return. I'm going to take care of the entire College of Winterhold quest line in short order, because there's fantastic treasure available for mages at this point, and it makes logistical sense to take care of it now. I'm going to be in a hurry to do so before the Dark Brotherhood gets to me. So, that is where I'll end for this time. Hope you all enjoyed that. 2 dragon kills, that's a rarity. Have a great day, everyone.